Hi there, how are you all? Hope everybody's keeping well. This is the next part of my spring wreath workshop or a demonstration. This is for the grown-ups who are making. So the wreath I had made there previously, that nice willow wreath, it's beginning to harden and dry out. I just wrapped around it some of this hessian ribbon. This can be found in garden centres actually, or well, obviously everything now will be online at the moment. So I just wrapped it the whole way around. I'm actually going to put a nice bit of lace over this before I finish it off, but I'll do that construction bit in another while. First I'm going to be showing you how to make the flowers that are going to go on it. I just wanted to show you this and how it is now, so I'm going to leave that aside for the moment. So what I'm using for this next part is florist ribbon, and what I'm going to show you today is how to make these flowers like this. These are made out of the ribbon. I could show you some that I've made previously, so you can choose them in different colors. This one I'm going to make with the cream. So these are made in pieces. I'll show you how to make up each petal individually and then put them together. So the base of my flower will have some of them have 7 and then 5 pieces together, and then inside will be 3. And I make the little centers here. I don't know if that's visible enough there for you. Okay, these I have made using a cut off cotton bud, which I've painted yellow, and my little pieces here I've used. What I did was I took some ordinary twine and strung it out, parted all of the strings, and probably a bit of a slow process, but I coated those with dipped them in PVA glue and then hung them up and let them dry, so they're actually quite stiff. And then I just cut little pieces and stuck them around my yellowed cotton bud and painted them a bit greenish, and then put a piece of wire into the base of each one of the cotton buds like so. So I'd had it together, and then wrapped some of the florist gutta tape. This is like a crepe paper tape that florists use for putting around their wired flowers. So you can see there, would tape each one up, so you can't actually now see the cotton bud underneath, but these are going to be the center of each flower, and obviously how I'm going to wire them all together in the end. But to make these petals, I'll show you. First off, you're going to need the ribbon. I cut them into about 12 inches long pieces and then fold that in 3. It doesn't have to be an exact science. So got it 1 and 2 in like that. Then I bring the 2 folded ends together, so I have it in half that way, and I'm going to cut a semicircle on each top. And the reason I do that is then I'm then left with 3 petal shapes. Okay, I'm going to show you how I make these petals. I get this one piece, fold it in half lengthways, and fold it in half lengthways again. So I have it like that, and then I start to twist it. And the reason I want to twist it is to make it look crinkly like a petal. And there's a little bit of a burning these to try and make them crinkly. I'll show you how. And I use a peg to hold it for a moment. So I do a fair few of them at a time. Like obviously for the bigger flowers, you're going to need 12, 15, actually 15 pieces just to make this one big flower. So it's not a terribly fast process. There is a good bit of work go into your wreath. So, but when it's finished and hanging on your door and looking absolutely amazing, you'll so appreciate it. All the hard work that went into it. And the wonderful thing about this is they'll last for a very, very long time because they won't wilt. And if the next video I'm going to show is when we have all these pieces made. I'm going to show you how to make the arrangement and put it onto the wreath. But it'll be put on in a way that you'll actually be able to take it off again whenever you want. So you could then say put a Christmas themed piece on and just keep it year in, year out, and change the theme when you want it. So this one's kind of going to be very springy, and hopefully have it up on my door for Easter. But you could make a nice autumnal one as well, with lovely kind of collect natural flowers and pieces and leaves as well. You could preserve leaves in the autumn and have them on then as well. So I'm just going to twist those up. And normally I do a lot of these together so that I can stick them all. So peg them just to kind of get the creases in it, and I'll show you what happens now when I take this out. So we'll imagine it's been there for a while. I just want to show you how to make each individual petal. So when you pull it out, you can see it's kind of crinkly-ish. But what I want you to do is holding it, I'll hold it this way so you can see, go slightly to one side of the halfway mark and start to twist that all together. So 2 twists so it's well turned. Keep your thumb inside that part and fold the top one over the bottom and pop them in together, making sure that they're going to stay inside one another, like a little cap actually. So you can see what I mean. I've got the 2 petals there, but they're twisted and rolled around one on top of the other. And what I do at this point is I pull the 2 petals, holding the bottom very tight, I pull the 2 petals apart, and I'm going to pop a tiny little dot of hot glue. I should have said, yeah, a hot glue gun is essential to this make. So now it's stuck like that, and actually even as is, that looks pretty petal-like. It's pretty good, but in order to make them just that little bit better and a little bit more natural looking, we need to use a little bit of heat, and I light a candle to do this. A little tea light is probably the easiest. And what we're looking to do is just wave this near the heat, and probably take a bit of practice with this to kind of, first off, you'll probably melt a few, and try not to burn your hands while you do it. But if we bring it slightly over the heat and just pull it away again, you can actually see what's happening there. The inside one is going crinkly. Just be careful not to set your arm on fire while you do it. And then if you turn it around, I'll just bring that out, turn it around and just allow the back of it to heat ever so slightly. It'll make the edges start to curl like a petal will naturally. So slight waving of the edge of the petal. If you go too near the flame, it'll actually melt. If you just try and catch the heat above it, you'll be able to shape it. So you can see now the way that has actually become more petal-like. Okay, I'm just going to blow that out and put it aside. And what I then do is to make the round pieces. You can see now how I've done this one. I'll stick them one to another, you know. And bring it around. If I were going to make the inside 3, I'll actually overlap them that bit more. So again, with the hot glue, just be careful of your hands. I'll just make one more petal there quickly just to show you. And then, so you have your crinkled piece, go slightly to one side of the half, twist once and around, keeping the thumb in there. You're going to push the top piece into the bottom piece, and just like imagine you're doing a little veil over a head. I'm going to make sure they sit together quite snugly, like that, so they're together. 2 little petals. So you've just turned one inside out on top of the other one. And my bit of glue, I just used it. I find if I'm doing them all together, probably easier. You can see it's kind of gone quite crinkly and petal shaped. And I'm just going to put glue on both sides of this because I'm going to put this together. Make sure when you're sticking them together that you leave a gap in the bottom so that a wire can stick through there, you know, because that's what you're going to need to get your pieces. Yeah, you see, so that'll go down in there. Just hold it for a second and I'll let it harden. Okay, so that's a nice, and this one could make a nice little bud like this, because I have a good few big ones. So when I'm going to put these together, I'll just stick those in like that. I'm going to do that now just to show you. So I need to put glue at the points where it's going to actually touch off one another. I'm going to push down till that just sticks. You end up with stringy bits of glue everywhere. That's the only thing about the hot glue I'm not mad on. Don't worry about how the bottom looks at the moment, because we're going to make leaves to cover this up. And off the top of my head, I should remember all the correct botanical names for those pieces, but I haven't done that in a while. So, and then our centerpiece, making sure I can still see through the little hole in them all, because I'm going to need to be able to put my center through there. So I'm going to just hold that in my hand for a second and let it glue. Okay, and then I'm going to get the piece that I'm going to use as center and pop that in there. I'm going to pop some glue into the center because that's going to go in there, and pull it through, and actually see some of the glue coming out the back there. I'm going to let that harden off. So you can see there, it looks quite pretty and looks quite realistic as well. So I'll finish off this just by saying that we're going to make some more of those and some buds, different sizes, so we'll have them together, and I'll demonstrate how to do the foliage, and then we can do the demo of how to put it all together. Take care.